What's up and good morning, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today is day 2 in Utah, and so far it's been really hot. We went and got some breakfast, so that was cool. And then we went and toured those homes over there because we saw like new homes. And you guys know I like to go check out model homes and new homes. And then we get there and the guy's like, you might be a little too young for this neighborhood. Apparently it is 55 and older, but they have 0 signs. But hey, we still got to tour the homes anyway. So what we got planned for today is we're gonna actually head over to FLOG Industries and check out kind of their operation. They got a lot going on today because obviously FLOG Fest is like their baby that they're putting on. So they're kind of spread crazy in the shop. They're going between the fairgrounds and the shop, setting everything up. So we might be like sneaking in the middle of like chaos, but they're really welcoming and, you know, opening up their shop to us to film. So that'll be cool. Now the good thing about, you know, my truck being parked right there is we can remote start it from up here. That way we're not frying in the 110-degree heat. Look at that beautiful Dmax. And yes, I am too lazy to walk. Just kidding. I have to bring this thing anyway to film. So we're on our way out to FLOG's, I'm assuming where their warehouse is. And we found this crazy little farm community in the middle of the desert. Nice to actually see some green out here. And a horse. All right, guys, I might be moving to Utah. Look at that garage on that house. That is like ideal for the old BBB and what we do. What's up, Nate?
Cleaning some trucks.
There you go. I'm about to pull back on this little side alley here too and wipe mine down in some shade. You guys sell these?
We do.
This is what everybody needs right here. All right, Wes, if you need some real mud flaps, this is the ticket right here. You just got to get your rear FLOG bumpers, some sweet adapters. So if you guys remember my tow hooks that are supposed to go on here that I had to have repowder coated because they're sitting in the back of my truck for so long and they got scratched up. I was supposed to bring them out here because Nate and the boys were going to put it on, but
oh well, next time.
yeah, I kind of forgot to bring it.
Well, here's why we brought you in the shop.
Oh, what? That is sick.
We'll put that behind your grill real quick, and
Dude,
that way you have a matching.
Killer.
So.
Wow. So everybody has said that even though FLOG made me a matching lower grill, it didn't have the little copper accent behind it like my DB Customs main grill up there. So once again, without me even asking them, they went ahead and made this sick back piece right there, which is gonna basically create the same effect as the DB Customs grill. Dude, that's sick. So for everybody wondering how the FLOG bumpers attach, looks sick. So
we estimated an 1/8 of an inch and just went with it.
Those of you guys that don't know, this mesh, whatever pattern you want to call it, just from looking at it at SEMA, no measurements, right? You guys mimic that for the grill?
Correct.
That's talent. That is talent. A lot of bumpers jigged up, getting welded, a bunch of stuff in the works. And for any of you guys that have been saying, hey, FLOG doesn't make a bumper for this type of vehicle, hit them up. Their website gets updated from time to time, but there are times when they've got a design for a vehicle already. They just don't have somebody with a vehicle yet to put it on, and so obviously they can't take pictures for their website. So if you guys have a vehicle that you want a FLOG bumper on and you haven't seen it on their website, shoot them a message on Instagram or shoot them an email, and then maybe they already have the design and pattern for yours. What's up, dude?
How's it going?
A little dirty, huh?
Yeah.
Looking good. What are we doing today?
So we're just prepping, getting some bumpers ready for the FLOG Fest.
Uh-oh.
Display bumpers.
There you go. All right, all right. That's all we're doing. Who does all the welding around here?
We got Tony over here. He's
Tony.
the one in the blue shirt.
So one thing I never got to show on YouTube, because it showed up on a day I wasn't filming, is FLOG's crating procedure. Like, these things do not move once they're crated. They really take the time. I mean, clearly, Tony, I heard you're the #1 welder around here.
Who told you that?
It doesn't matter who told me. I don't snitch. Dude, you guys look. This whole crew is like. How old are you? 18? 19? 20?
20.
20. Dang.
Bunch of young bucks.
But you're getting in a good industry. You're learning skills. You got some good skills, clearly. I mean, you're the dirtiest one here. You must be the hardest worker.
I do what I can.
You guys are the ones that touch everything before it leaves, right? You guys are the last step. Tony's over here. Why do you look so nervous, dude?
Dude, I'm on camera.
That's all right. Tony, where'd you learn to weld? I like to tell people stories.
I'm actually going to welding school right now.
All right.
But I want to say like kind of self-taught. Rue taught me a lot.
Well done, guys. I'm glad to see an entire young crew that really likes to work and get out here. Perfect color match. That looks absolutely killer. And for all you guys wondering, now I finally have that hole drilled out. So we're good to go. Nobody complains now about the missing bolt. Looks killer. There you
Makes a
go.
big difference.
Oh yeah, dude. Everybody thinks it's a subtle little thing that you barely see, but when you see it without it versus with it. So one of the things I like to do with all the companies that I like to work with is, number one, I like to meet the owners, and I like to see the process on how things are made, because, well, that's kind of what shows the quality in the products that me and you buy. So Nate's gonna give us a tour of the entire FLOG operation here, buddy. So go ahead, take it away.
So this is our showroom. People come in here to look at the product. As you can tell, we have displays here. We got the heavy duty stuff. So this would be a 17 Super Duty and newer setup here.
Nice.
Behind you we have a Jeep display, and we pulled the front bumper off, but that's the rear bumper for the new JL Jeep. We started by building Jeep bumpers, and then it went to the truck stuff. Our biggest market right now is definitely the trucks, without a doubt. So while we're here, take a look at this. I know you wanted to
Dude, these are
quick
huge,
sneak peek
buddy.
at that.
What are they, 26 by 14? So these are, we had talked about it the last time you were out at our truck event.
Yes.
Your big wheels coming in. So Nate's truck is going to be getting transformed for SEMA. So 26 by 14 American Force. You know what model? Well, I guess we got the giant boxes back
They're
here.
the Canyons.
The Canyons. Gotcha. It's going to be fun keeping those polished, huh?
Yeah, yeah, I will. I hear people are Cerakoting them. I'm going to research that, see if it's a thing or if it works, or
Gotcha.
polish them up good, Cerakote them, and then supposedly they stay that way. So
Nice.
send me some feedback if I'm wrong.
And then we got Shot Pup.
Yeah, that's Zebo.
Zebo. Hi, Zebo. Hi, Zebo. I know.
Bit of a mess right now, but this is the receptionist desk, and here's the office space. This is my office.
We get real behind the scenes.
More office space in here.
Nice. Oh, what do we got going on over there? Some nice looking light bars.
That's Heretic right there. This is the break room, and this is our work orders. So
Nice.
every time a bumper gets sold, I create the work order, I print it out, bring it in here, I put it on the board, and this is all, it looks like chaos, but there's an order to how the stuff goes on here and when the ship out date is. So it all comes in here, the shop foreman comes in, he looks at it, he knows what to do, so we'll come out here.
And we kind of picked ideal timing because everybody just took off to go start setting up for FLOG Fest. So I really do appreciate Nate taking the time out, because I know he's got like a million things he needs to be doing right now, because they are the ones like the main hosts of the event.
So over here is where we do all the cutting. This is our Waterjet. It's a 5x10 table. As you can tell, we just put shit on here, let it do its thing.
What's our maximum thickness we can cut?
2.5 inch is the thickest I've cut, but they claim it'll do 4.5, and a lot of that depends on, you can adjust the pressures, you can adjust the sand, the garnet.
All the cool stuff you see on my truck, it came off of this bad boy.
It did. So from there it comes over here, we process all the parts right here. As you can tell, we're building these are for the welding competition. You put 4 of these together, then the welders will come, they'll weld up all the sides. It gets judged, the winner takes home a trophy. From there, anything that needs bent comes over here. This is a 165 ton press brake, and it'll bend 10 feet wide, 1/4 inch thick at that wide. Otherwise your thickness depends on the width. So as you can tell, we bend all of our 1/2 inch tow hooks with this press brake. We actually build it with this very punch and die.
So I was talking to Kevin earlier about this die. This ain't an off-the-shelf die here.
No, you can't buy that from your local Harbor Freight. we actually built this die. We cut out these plates on the Waterjet, then we put the shaft in there. The beauty of that is these things actually roll as it's bending. So this will sit there and spin as it's bending. Takes a lot of friction out of the bend right there. Helps a lot.
So that enables you guys to get a much tighter radius versus trying to bend this thick of steel. It would end up with a much wider radius, right?
It would. We get a lot tighter radius, and if you look at that, you can tell there's barely even just a mark on that, because that roller just, your standard die would leave a hell of a groove right there. That was something Kev created. From there, the bumpers, they kind of go into the press brake operator. He'll build different piles of bumpers.
Can we first talk about how the press brake operator has the best job here, because the air conditioning blows right at that guy.
It does too.
The difference from standing right here to right here is probably about 30 degrees or 40 degrees in heat.
It probably is. It's real. It's not at all cold in this shop any time of the year, especially because our Waterjet creates a lot of heat. The high pressure water, it's got the hydraulic pump, everything about it creates a lot of heat. When the fabricator's ready for more bumpers, the cart's usually empty. He brings the cart over, loads up the parts that he's ready to go put together. We built these carts so we can transport a lot of weight from bending to welding, which is over here. We've moved most of our stuff out to the show for the FLOG Fest, but we usually have a table here and a couple welders. The shop foreman puts the bumper together. He passes it off to a welder, that guy welds it up. From there it comes over to, we have these stands that look like this.
These are slick. I was looking at these earlier.
So the way this works is it gives you a ton of movement in any direction, and the guy running a grinder, he swivels it, he moves it around where he can grind all these different angles without having to bend over, get underneath it,
That's what's great about having your guys' proprietary little 3-bolt system. Like, it enables you to build all kinds of stuff off that system. We saw the mud flaps earlier, seeing the tow hooks that you guys have.
Yep.
I don't know, what do you call them, bull bars?
This would be our full guard right here.
The thing I like about FLOG is you've got options. You don't have to just go with the standard bumper like I do. You can add light bars, you can add a bunch of stuff to it.
So we actually call this guard Beast Mode, is the name for this one. As you can tell, it's got gussets and all that, giving it all the strength it needs. These things will take a heck of an impact. My brother has a truck with one of these on it. He's hit 3 or 4 deer with it.
We should start looking for deer.
It's a work truck, and he uses the heck out of it. So this is what our front mounts look like. Once again, everything's a mess. We've had an incredibly busy week, but we build these different mount setups, and they're just designed to hold that 3-bolt pattern that the bumper slides onto. On all of our brackets, we stack 2 pieces of 1/4 inch together, and then the stud presses through both, and we use that stud to fixture the 2 parts. So this press right here presses in all of the studs, and we've pressed thousands of studs in with this right here. That's what I like to call a long travel hydraulic press. Most of your hydraulic presses will have a really short cylinder. You don't get a lot of movement right here. We had to have a lot of movement. So this is our shipping department. We build all of our wood crates right here. This is our cutting table. We'll throw down 3 or 4 sheets. We'll set a straight edge. We'll cut through all of them, cut the length, and now you have 2 or 3 crates worth of sidewalls cut. Really productive. A guy can come in and he can build 7 or 8 or 9 crates in a day if he's really motivated.
It's one of the things I know I mentioned earlier in the video, but their crating, when I saw it show up, I knew the quality inside, because, you know, you can tell somebody cares about the product they're putting in the crate really based on what the crate looks like, and they want to make sure the product gets to you safe and sound. I'm assuming that's the reason like nobody sells pre-finished bumpers, because you know something's going to happen.
It's difficult. It's really hard to sell a pre-finished and get it there without scratching and stuff. So.
Shipping companies don't care about your crate.
That's
Once
true.
it leaves your door, you're in trouble. I mean, you know, we all deal with it.
Anybody that ever ships anything, you know, even with work for it, we run into issues with USPS, with all types of shipping companies. Like, they don't care about what they're delivering. So you got to take the care to make sure you do everything you can to ensure your product is taken care of. That way it makes it to the customer.
Front and rear bumper, average crated, what does it weigh?
Right around 400 pounds for the front and the rear with the crate. If you send it to a shop, that takes away 90% of your hassle, because these freight companies are trained to work around commercial, not residential. So,
and that's actually what I did with my bumpers. I actually had it sent to Preston's shop. So if you have a shop that's going to be doing the work, talk with the owners of the shop, talk with somebody there, see if you can have it delivered. Plus, you don't have to be there because typically those shops are open, you know, during normal business hours versus you having to sit at your house for like some stupid time window and then it doesn't show up and then they got to show up the next day or whatever. So he makes a great point. Have it delivered to whatever shop you can that is actually installing it for you. It really does take the headache away.
With that, all the packaging happens over here. We got all our different bolts in here for building our bolt kits for the hardware and all that. We manufacture all this stuff, all these lower bumper grills. We manufacture those in big quantities. We'll cut out 50 to 100 of these at a time. So the guy packaging the bumper, he comes over here, he looks at the packing slip, he says, "Okay, I need to send, if it's Royalty Tour, he'll send this mesh. If it's Denali mesh, he sends this one." Nice. So he goes down the packing slip and basically fulfills that order right in this area. If we have something that needs polished, we're all set up with polishing equipment. We can polish the lower bumper grills, we can polish aluminum tow hooks, a handful of things on the bumper we can send out polished.
Nate was showing me this this exhaust tip that he made earlier, and I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you guys think we should go? This one ended up being too big. Can we put it on? Let's go put it on the truck. So it ends up hitting on this truck the brackets for the stabilizer bar for the hitch. But what do you guys think? Should we go with a little shorter but a square tip or something like that? I know I've been against running an exhaust tip for the longest time because I like my exhaust to look stock, but I don't think the giant black cloud on all the paint is fooling anybody anymore. So we might end up with something like that, a little shorter, but to try and push the exhaust out a little bit beyond the bumper and the fender there.
My vote's on us doing a shorter one.
Work for it.
Hey, there's an idea.
Right? See, what I like about FLOG is, number one, like, they keep surprising me with cool stuff that they don't like necessarily off the shelf make, but they are full in-house, design, build, everything. So they can come up with cool custom stuff as well, not just the cookie cutter stuff that everybody else is putting out with like no options to customize into that.
That is badass right there.
So while we're here, Nate's gonna throw on some speed poles for his truck, and for a lot of you guys asking, you can see he's got a what is it, the backflip tonneau cover?
Yeah.
Backflip tonneau cover, and he's actually got some little grommets right here that are gonna cover when you drill a hole through your tonneau cover to mount the speed pole setup. These came from Speed Pole, so people have already figured out how to make this work.
So talking to Matt at Speed Pole, the way this works is you cut this so you can put it inside the bed in your speed pole mount, slide it up against the top of the backflip, mark your hole, then you drill the hole after you have your mounts in, and then technically the pole drops right in and works good. So.
That's smart, see?
That's why there's smarter people than me out there making your guys' products.
So this is Nate's SEMA truck, and as you guys know, he's been going with white and chrome, or polish is kind of the look he's going for. So he went with white speed poles with polished hardware. Well guys, I royally screwed up today. I was helping Nate get his speed poles installed, and I was leaning over his truck and my sunglasses were hanging where they normally hang, so I didn't want to like rub them on his truck and scratch his truck, so I put them in my back pocket, which is like, you know, where I end up putting all my tools. And then I made the mistake of sitting down to help him get that little nut plate up underneath to attach his speed poles with, and well, I ended up scratching the crap out of my lenses right where your eye is, and my eyes hate the sun. So tomorrow's gonna be a long day rocking really scratched sunglasses. It's gonna be a guaranteed headache. We called around, nobody in town has these sunglasses, so is what it is. So here we got another variation of the bumper. You can see how they integrate the light bar in using the kind of their little trademark, I don't even know, patented little 3-bolt setup here. This truck's actually pretty sick forward. It's got those rock slider like Jeep steps that actually come out sideways, I believe, and still work as rock sliders, or maybe it comes out from down there. I don't really know how they work. Not a Jeep guy. And then they're running some mud flaps in the back as well that tie into the 3-bolt system. All right, well, tonight is the big pre-party for FlogFest tomorrow. But with that, we're gonna wrap up this video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have not subscribed already, please leave the subscribe button now that we do not miss out on any future content. Don't forget to give this video a like, aka a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out workforapparel.com, because if there's anything you want in this life, you gotta be willing to work for it. Also, don't forget to check out FLOG Bumpers, because even though they got a big show tomorrow, they're still working behind the scenes doing a bunch of stuff, and their quality is top notch. And with that, I'm out. You guys are the best. Say it.
Roll the outro.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah.